the recording as well. Okay, so congratulations, Eileen, for Billy the Kid. Amazing show. I've been, raving about the show to my family, to my friends, that you need to watch it. And, whenever the episode, whenever I am given the access to the episode, I just watch it right away. I cannot wait for it. And 5 episodes in, it's been an amazing journey for Billy and you as well. But before we come to, Billy the Kid, let's talk about you. So, when I see your resume, it's very diverse. You have done, period dramas as well, but you have done, other genres as well. So how's your journey been in Hollywood?
In Hollywood, did you say? I don't know. I think the first time I actually went there was for the Billy Kid premiere.
So I said, okay, I rephrase it. How's your journey been in the entertainment industry?
As an actor.
Yeah.
I feel really fortunate because I think for me, I get super excited about telling a good story. And I've been involved in telling some incredible stories. A lot of things, you are right. I must be from a time gone by. People look at me and go, you're in the wrong century. You're in the wrong era. Think go back in time. And there's something very wonderful about having the ability to do that, to go back and tell, and to sort of imagine or have a little taste of what it would be to live in, times before we've got here. I've also done some modern day things. Actually, quite recently, I've done a few modern day independent films, which have been super fun, very different, like a thriller, and then just a couple of different things, some real heartbreakers. I have to say, I do go for a story that seems to involve a box of tissues. But then that's because I find people so interesting, and telling stories that really touch on what it is to be human and humanity, and to be a person living with other people, or even living sometimes in the absence of them, missing people. And all of those things are just glorious. But I've been very privileged. I've been on set with some of my favorite actors of all time, and to be on set and watch these people do what they're supposed to do, like the empathy and the magnetism that radiates out of them is incredible. So I've been lucky in that I've been on set with some of my all-time heroes, and hopefully learned a little something and tried to pop it in my pocket for the next job and go, I'll remember that. So I would say it's been I think I have a lot of gratitude towards the jobs I've had and the opportunities that I've had. And I think I feel very, very grateful. But also jobs lead to jobs, and also jobs, like I've collected friends from certain jobs. Some of the people that are closest to me in my life, who I would even associate as like family. My best friend I met on a job. There was somebody popped in earlier because they were fixing their bike around the corner. I met him on a job. He was like, put the kettle on. So also the beyond telling the story, the connections that you make with people on a set, because it's like nothing else. You dive into this thing and it's so full on in a lovely way, but you really, really get to know people. And I've been very fortunate that there's always like a few diamonds on a job of like people that have remained in my life, in my real life, when I'm not pretending.
Oh, amazing. So, was acting always, your passion, or, it came, as you, just walked down the road and, just thought that, okay, yes, acting is something that, I can be amazing at, and I can see myself having a career in?
I think I think, well, my background, I grew up in Ireland, in a very small town in Ireland. And I didn't know any actors, nor did that seem like a viable career option. So when we went to school, it was like talks about, you know, what is considered a good job. You'd be a lovely teacher. Have you considered, you know, being a doctor or a nurse, or, you know, you go through all the jobs. And I never really had a big drive towards any of them, but I was always performing. So, but I thought that was a hobby, or as my father called it, a hobby. That's Eileen's hobby. You know, she does plays, she writes speeches, like any opportunity to perform. And then I don't know, like it's not that I've only ever been an actor. I went straight to a drama school. I auditioned for a drama school, which is how it started, because I came to the place in Ireland that I came and I got a place. And that kind of started the journey. I think I probably maybe would have thought about being an actor had I not grown up in my very small town in Ireland, where I just didn't, it seemed so far away. It didn't seem like I could possibly do that. So if anybody's ever watching this and thinks, I don't know any actors, how would I ever do that? It is possible, because I am sitting here speaking to you this evening. Like, so if there's hope for people who maybe have no ties into the industry or know anybody, I would say train. So I trained as an actor. That's why
I know we are quite similar. So, you know, in my family, everybody is a doctor or, you know, engineer, and I'm the only one in my family who is a journalist. And, you know, everyone now despises me. Now, you know, you have a good job. So, but, you know, I'm happy with it. So now coming back to, you know, Billy the Kid. Okay, so Billy the Kid is a historical figure, and we know about it. We have, you know, we have written about it, we have heard about it, we have heard stories about it, but not a lot was known about his mother, you know, the role that she played in his life. So how, you know, how did the role come up, and what were the preparations that you went into when the role was offered to you?
The role came up, well, the role came through my manager in LA. It came through like an audition. And I had done another job where I was playing a mum. Okay. And I think they'd seen that, which is why I think I got to audition for it, which was very nice. I was like, oh, this is exciting. And when I got it, I did not know that. Personally, I didn't know that Billy was the son of Irish immigrants. And as I read Michael's script, I had no idea the strong female that had created this wonderful, complex, sensitive, smart man, you know, that is an outlaw almost by default. But then the part is so, I don't know, it just spoke to me. I just read it, and I think I have an extremely wonderful mother that I don't give enough shout outs to. But she's a strong but very maternal person herself. So I think it would be amiss of me to say that I did not base this on some of the women that I knew myself, or that I, you know, that I respect on that kind of level. And in Ireland, you know, the female dynamic in the culture is very strong. So all of those things I sort of understood. And then coming at the script, for me, all I'm ever trying to do is, one, completely empathize with the choices of the character so that it's truthful, because I just want you to believe that I am Kathleen. But as well, like it's the same whenever then you get to play with the other actors, and there's such a wealth of talent on this that to be in scenes with the likes of like Tom and Jamie and Joey and Dan, like they're and little Jonah, like they're absolutely phenomenal, generous actors. So then it becomes a game of that. But for me, I got so much of the information regarding Kathleen from Michael's scripts, because historically, you know, there's much more about the legend of Billy than his mother. So yeah, I'd say the scripts and the avenues in which Michael kind of led us down with those incredible scripts was a very good starting basis. Great. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you have absolutely answered my question. So, okay, so, you know, the one thing that, you know, strikes the most when we see Billy, that he still has, you know, empathy and, you know, a bit of, a bit of caring heart, you know, even if he's killing people, but he has empathy in him. And that comes from his mother, because we have seen in the, you know, childhood days that, you know, how you were treating, you know, the little Jonah and all this. So what was that, you know, one thing that you wanted your character to come out on the screen, that you wanted that the viewer should see that and believe that Kathleen was just like that?
What elements of her?
Yes.
I think there's a few. It's very hard to pin down. A lot of things that were very important to me. I think how Kathleen sees the world, and how this woman, who is an educated woman operating in a time where the female voice is basically, you know, she has no rights, she has no way of, like, you know, she can't even get out of a loan in the bank. It's so silly. She would have been amazing with the loan. We all know it. The money would have been paid back. Everybody would have been fine if they had to just give her the money and she could have got her boarding house at a restaurant. This isn't a time that empowered females. But in spite of her lack of empowerment, or, I don't know, status, having any kind of voice, she does have a really strong voice. And that is important, because when you think that you're powerless, you actually have full power and conviction over who you are as a person and how you behave. And all of those things, she's very certain on, you know, she has, and that's it. I didn't want her to feel powerless, or even a character that was lacking in hope, because she has so much hope. She has so much hope that, you know, for where they're going to get to, what they're going to achieve, in spite of all the corruption. But she also sees people and who are good people, and she's not judgmental. She doesn't judge anybody for where they've ended up or their situation, because often, and it's actually correct, often in life, those are not things that are in it people's control. So I think that sense of self and strength of character is important, because I think it makes her a very powerful person. And I think she instills that really good, there's a quote from somebody that said, you know, what you want for your children is for them nearly to be competent. Mm-hmm. You know, she's given her children all the tools that they would need to survive, and not only survive, thrive and be incredible people, additions to the world. So I hope I love the character. So probably was a little ambitious in all the things that I want you to show for her. But I just think it was just so lovely to play such a strong feminine character, and that was important for me to show.
Great. So my last question to you, Eileen, okay, what kind of relationship that you shared with the cast, you know, Tom, Daniel, Joey, how much fun was it, you know, to work with them?
Oh, it was really good. Jamie, who plays Andrew, my second husband, that's awful, is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. And we have been friends 4 years. We did a play together in London. So I knew him. So that was nice to have a buddy on the way out. Jonah is, he's just so generous. I've seen all of them. I've seen all of them since because they're just wonderful. Joey, completely broke my heart. Totally believed he was Paddy. He is such a talented actor. And I cannot speak more highly of Tom. Tom led from the front. He was just generous and kind and talented. And he is very fun on a night out. And he is just, I'm just can't get over his performance. I knew his performance was amazing because there's one scene that was actually one of my favorite scenes to film where I tell him that he doesn't have to come with us. Yes. And he says, yes, I do. And when you get to act with actors that are as talented as Tom, it is just, I can't describe the feeling. I even watched, because I knew that we would be discussing and you know that I die. I can't actually watch my death scene with Tom because I just go, oh. So anyway, my love for them is huge. Yeah, lucky me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Eileen, for giving me, your time. And it's been such a pleasure to see you on screen. And now I have seen you off screen. It's even, it fills my heart with pleasure that I've talked with you. Thank you so much.
And I am so pleased you're a journalist. I'm from a house of engineers. Okay. So it's okay to be different.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye.